I'm gonna make a cauldron prop that has a realistic bubbling smoke effect and can change colors from the inside. Let's get started. All right, I got this 16-inch cauldron off of Amazon. Let's unbox it and see how it is. I did not know I was getting a 2-for-1 special. So it looks like it came with 2. Shows how carefully I read descriptions. And then I have this guy. It's good. It's about the size I was looking for, but of course the outside is a little bit underwhelming. So first I'm going to test out the functionality of the pieces that I bought to go inside. And actually, I just said this is the size I intended, but now looking at it, I'm a little worried it's too small for the bubbler that I bought. We'll find out shortly, won't we? And then we'll focus on making the outside a lot cooler. Getting worried. I should have measured, huh? Like I should have looked at these listings and measured. When will I learn? Never. Here we go. Still worried. I hope there's a lot of packaging in there. Maybe there's packaging in here. Oh my gosh, and then this has to go in the ends too. This is not gonna be big enough. Oh, that's not good. It's good. Okay, so this piece I think will fit. Yeah, that piece fits, but it's definitely not going to fit with these 2 on it. Are these imperative? Maybe these just weigh it down, which I wouldn't need. This is the power supply. Wow, that's intense. Okay, here's what I think I'm reading. I think this is a buoy that makes it float, which I don't actually want. So I think I might get lucky and not need this. Okay, I'm gonna go fill this with water and then we're gonna plug it in and just see what happens. Okay, I filled it up like halfway. Let's see if this works now. Ooh! Simple as that. It's awesome. Okay, so I think I would actually do it slightly lower next time because it's getting a lot of these drops everywhere. So the water, like, that's fine for some settings, but like for what I need it for, I don't really want everything getting wet around it. So I'd want the water level a little bit lower. Okay, I took that water level down quite a bit. Let's put it in. Plug it in. Oof, still getting everywhere. It's going everywhere. I almost think it's more because the water's lower. Pouring this in. Less. It's less when it's more full of water. Interesting. Oh, this is like soaked. Soaked. Okay, let's see. We get a lot less fog. So the water level is probably too high now.
So in order to get a sufficient amount of fog and minimal splashing, I now went through a series of failed experiments, including building an EVA foam barrier, which ended up being both useless and hideous, building a second EVA foam barrier, but this time it was on the inside of the cauldron instead of on the outside, as if that was going to make any difference, balancing the cauldron on the freebie cauldron for some height in an attempt to keep the table dry. Needless to say, none of this really worked, and I just had to get the water level pretty much perfect.
Okay, so it is day 2, and here's what I did. I used some puff paint to mark where the water levels should be inside the cauldron so that once I ship this to the actor, they will be able to always fill it up to that water level so that the splashing out is as minimal as possible. Then I put the LED lights inside the cauldron, but then they were working, but then they broke in the middle of trying to test them, and I took it as a sign that this probably wasn't going to work anyways, because with where the water level was and all of the splashing, I think they were going to get really wet, which was going to dissolve the adhesive. I watched a video on waterproof LEDs, and it does say, like, don't put them in a pool, like it's not meant for that. So that got me thinking, what do they use in pools, and can I buy one? So I overnight shipped this to myself, which is an LED pool light. I'm gonna put this down inside with, we'll kind of put these power cords together because that's sort of how it will end up likely working. Now, what I really want to know too is, like, with it is now floating because there's water in there. So how much, like, are we gonna see this whole thing? I don't know. I don't really know how to hold this down. It's gonna float. I could maybe, let's just turn on the fog and see how much this is visible. Okay.
So what I ended up deciding here was that if you are looking straight down at the cauldron from above, you can see the pool light, but if you're going to be looking at the cauldron from the side, which is what I was going to be using this cauldron for anyways, once the fog builds up a bit, you really can't see the pool light itself at all. The only thing that we're seeing here is the white power cord coming over the top, and I was going to fix this anyway by drilling a hole in the side of the cauldron for the power cords to feed through. So then I decided to conduct a quick experiment to see if I could put the pool light underneath the fogger, which consequently raised up the fogger another 2 inches or so. And here was the series of unfortunate events that followed.
Ooh, water everywhere. No. Ow. Oh, that's right. You can't touch this when it's on. Oh, don't make the mistake I just made. Oh. Do not touch that thing with your hand. Oh my word. Okay, water's everywhere. Okay, we learned some very essential lessons. Never put your hand in the water while that mister is on. This is a lesson I've already learned. Not my first rodeo. Feels like I got stung by like a jellyfish going through my hand. Ugh, terrible. Don't put your hand in there. Learn from my mistakes. 2, we can't have only like 1 inch or 2 inches of water above the pond fogger. It's not enough water. If you had a bigger cauldron than this and you had more height, then for sure you could put the light below the pond fogger. It'll hold it down. You'll still get the glow because it's powerful enough light that even just like a little bit of it showing around the fogger will be enough. If you're making your own cauldron, you now have different options. Okay, because I'm lazy and I don't want to go outside and drill, I'm gonna see if I can melt a hole in this with a high temp glue gun. You could definitely use a drill, you could definitely use a Dremel, but I'm gonna try this first, and if it works, then I don't have to go outside. Yay for laziness. Okay, after about 15 minutes of fighting, I finally got this hole big enough. I didn't realize, I don't know, in my little brain, I didn't realize this hole was gonna need to be as big as it is. Had I realized that, would I have done it a different way? Probably. Though I do love showing very low-tech ways that you can do things without any power tools, so glue gun, you can make a hole. Yeah, this fits through. So we'll be able to hide that power cord. And then, ay. Pro tip, untangle your cord before sticking it through a hole. No. This has to go through. Shove it through. I can't shove it through.
So then we have some holes in what I filmed. I was clearly too disgusted and irritated at the fact that I had to go back to making the hole bigger that I refused to film it. But rest assured the cords eventually fit through. Then I went outside and primed the cauldron with an automotive primer, and then I guess I didn't film the rest of the spray painting? I don't know. This is the next video I seem to have.
Right, it is spray painted. I love it. I love the texture that it got from this rust spray paint. I think it really adds a lot. So I can't find my painter's palette, so I'm just gonna use a lid. I'm gonna try to mix a color that's kind of a dark brownish gray. Then try just dry brushing that, seeing if I like it. It's kind of the color I've got. All right, I am gonna let this dry and then I'm gonna set everything up, do one final test of everything all together with the final look, and then ship it out to my performers. And then we will see the final result. Okay, I have everything set up. This is how the cauldron will look on a live stream. Got my sorting hat here. Whatever the water level is right now is like perfect. It's barely even splattering. And yes, what I've discovered is it's actually a lot better to not have the cauldron facing this direction so the light is facing the camera. If you face it at like a 1/4, then you have less direct light at the camera. I almost wonder if we faced it this way, then you would get a glow onto your own face as well. But you just, like, then these cords are visible, so that won't work. Unless you can just kind of pull the light over and tape that in place, then that might work. Which is very cool.
Okay, everyone's saying yes to the red bits. Should I do both of them or should I just do one? What do you think? Everyone's saying both. Okay. Nervous. Okay. Let's see. So 1, nothing happened. Nothing happened. 2. Okay, we're getting there. Okay. I don't know how many to put in. So how many do you think I should put in? I'm seeing a lot of 5. Let's do 5 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Round of applause, we did it! We did it, everyone! Thank you! Okay, excellent work. I am glad I have you on my side. How many of you in the chat, are you muggles or are you wizards as well? Because you're doing quite well at all of this. Thank you for the follow, Kirsten. We did it! Nate, yes! I couldn't have done it without you.